Saludos and salutations, Broncos Country, and welcome back into another exciting episode of Broncos Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are finally ready after so much waiting through the offseason, the draft, the free agency, even the preseason. It is finally time. We are ready and excited to talk about football. Week 1, ladies and gentlemen, is almost here. It is upon us. Libre and I cannot wait to talk to you guys everything and anything that's going to go down this week in the very first game for the Broncos against those pesky Tennessee Titans. So please make sure your beer is cold, your food is warm, and that you're comfortable as hell because you don't want to miss a single minute of today's episode, I should say. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get ready because here we go.
Broncos talk, let's rock, feel the energy rise. From the microphone to the fans reaching the skies. Every episode a thrill, a surprise. For the love of the game, we harmonize.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adan Diaz, and joining me to my left or right, depending on which way you're watching, is my co-host, Bronco Libre.
What's happening? Let's go. It's game week. Are you guys ready for it? Yes, you are. Come on. How excited are you? Because I'm super excited. Yeah, boy.
If I could jump up without hitting the ceiling, I definitely could. Hell, I wish I could do a freaking backflip, Libre. That's how excited I am for the start of the regular season.
Man, you just, like, honestly, right before our show happened, I got a call from the Broncos because I've been doing this fan meetup right now with the Bronco for the fan group that's coming up from Mexico. And then I also have, I'm going to be hosting the tailgate for them. So we're just going over the logistics of what's happening. I'm actually going to go over to the stadium tomorrow to pick up some gear that I'm going to be giving out for the fan meetup on Saturday. Man, like, just the excitement that I just have talking with him. Like, I know, like, I'm a fanatic and so forth. Like, I'm a super fan and all that. And he works with the Broncos, and just the excitement. Like, you know, I think I get him excited for all this as well. And just all the stuff that he was just saying, I'm very much appreciated for what you're doing for the fans and all that. So, man, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Sunday cannot get here fast enough. Can we get here already? Let's go.
For real, let's say for real. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Libre and I do apologize for jumping on the stream a little bit late, but just before I was about to hit the go live button, Libre and I noticed that we were on the wrong show. Baki, I know you say you watched us after the fact, but you had us on your show and you didn't transfer over, so we had to recalibrate everything and change it back. See, that's what happens when you get too comfortable in your lazy boy, bro.
Do you even lazy boy?
Do you even lazy, bro? And I know you're not at home, so I can make that joke because you're not around a lazy boy, but we love you, Johnny. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. As we said at the beginning of the show, we got a lot and lots to talk about. We're going to talk about the breakdown of the Tennessee Titans, what we can expect to see, what we can expect to happen. If you guys want a breakdown of the Broncos schedule where we give our predictions, you'll have to go back a couple episodes back. Libre and I did a prediction episode on every single game when the schedule came out. So do please go back and check that out after this show if you want our personal opinion and ideas about what we thought about the record. And I think I can speak for Libre when I say that I don't think our opinions have changed since we made that episode. So please feel free to go back and check that out. And as always, we got to get a couple things out of the way first before we get started with today's show. So please bear with us. First of all, we'd like to ask you to show your support for us here on the Orange and Blue Network. We ask that you please subscribe, share, comment, and like on this and all the other shows we have here on the network. If you're all caught up with us, that's fan-dilly-tastic. We have lots and lots of programming for you guys to definitely get your day's worth of Broncos news. Also, ladies and gentlemen, for any business inquiries, you can email at broncostalk2020@gmail.com. For our audio listeners, please, 5-star ratings are greatly appreciated. If you'd like, you can screenshot it and send it to our socials there at the bottom, our Twitter handles. Mine is at a 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is Bronco Libre at 5280. Shout out to Dubby, who is our sponsor for this and all the shows here on the network. Basically, Dubby was formulated with nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics included in their patented Neurofactor formula. It's the caffeine that is derived directly from the coffee fruit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we like to say around here, it's all the good stuff without all the bad, which is basically no sugar, no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. And to show you guys how awesome Dubby and the guys over at the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue show are, if you use the code OBN10, you'll get 10% off your order at checkout on all of your Dubby flavors. I mean, I can't tell you a better offer for you guys to use. So please use the code OBN10 to get your 10% off your order at checkout. Shout out to Dubby and the guys over at the Nothing Rhymes with for hooking you, me, and Libre up with that fantastic offer. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the show schedule going forward, all times are in Mountain Time, mind you. We have the Orange and Blue Blitz, which airs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. We have the Broncos Bros every Monday at 7. Another flagship show, Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, Tuesdays at 6. Wednesdays, we have the Mahai Symposium, which airs at 2:30, followed by Broncos Talk at 6. And then Viva Los Broncos, Fridays at 6 p.m. Also, whenever any breaking news breaks out in Broncos country, we have the Fresh Squeeze. So please make sure that live notification button is hit so you do not miss a single episode on our schedule. Also, before every single game day, 1 hour before kickoff, we have the Get Bucked pregame show with all the guys, giving you guys all the up-to-date news before the pigskin flies. And then afterwards, we have the Buck Your Feelings post-game show, which airs after every single game day, right after the game. You guys can swear all you want, but Johnny says that we can only use like one swear, I think. Libre, my friend.
¿Qué pasa, calabaza?
I need you to tell us what the feeling is around Broncos country right now. I saw the banners that that they put out. I don't know if it's just around the stadium or in the downtown Denver central area, but those banners are kick-ass, man.
You know, just the anticipation, and that's like just walk because I work downtown. So the banner, one of the banners is actually right there by the stadium itself. The billboard itself is by the stadium. If you're on the Broncos social media, you saw they just posted it out earlier today, and man, the excitement just in downtown. Like, people are ready for Broncos football. Like, it's been way too long without Broncos football. And then now it's finally here this week. We're 4 days away from kickoff. And it's just it's so electric because of what the Broncos were able to do last year and the expectation of what this upcoming season, everyone has coming from nowhere. And with all this excitement, like I can't, like it's all built up. Like I need to be out there. I need to go out there and start screaming and all that, just like I did at the beginning of the show. Like, you know, just letting it out. Like I just it's still built in me. Again, if you're here in the Denver metro area, this Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a fan meetup at Flight Co. Brewing Company at the Stapleton Tower. They're in off of Quebec and Martin Luther King Boulevard. Be there. I'm going to be there about 2:00, 2:30. It's going to kick off at 2:30. So if you can be there, come show up, show some support. Let's get out there and show the country, Broncos country, we are the best fans. Let's start off the season right. Let's get out there, have a couple drinks. It's family friendly. They have so many different activities there. come out and enjoy the day, and then we'll repeat it again at Mile High Stadium in Lot C and have the greatest tailgate in all of Broncos country.
Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show that Libre and I are going to be bringing back in overtime. We did this last year where we broke down and we gave our personal picks about every single game. So I know a lot of people enjoyed that we did that last year. So we're definitely going to be bringing that forward going into the season and until we run out of football, which is what, Libre, after the Super Bowl, I think. So please make sure you stay in tune for that as well. But it is definitely a vibe in Broncos country. I read the power rankings for the on NFL.com, and I'm sorry I forgot the name of the guy who posts them because I read them every single week during the season. And the Broncos are slated to be at number 9. Ladies and gentlemen, the Broncos have made top 10. And that has not happened in a very, very long time, Libre. And I am so pumped. I'm so excited. The only thing that I can think of, Libre, that I feel people are going to try to dismiss or take away from us is the fact that the Broncos only won because the Titans have a rookie quarterback. That's what I feel the narrative is going to be next week. And to be honest with you, I don't want to hear it.
You know what? That's the same thing as well. That's not going to be the narrative. Like, yes, that's the narrative. He's the number 1 pick overall. Why were the Titans the number 1 pick overall? Because they were the worst team in the NFL last year. They did not, all they really did was get the number 1 pick, got, hopefully for them, their franchise quarterback. But the thing is, they did not improve much else anywhere else within their team. Do they still have a line? Do they really have a line that's going to protect Cam Ward? Because let me tell you, this Bronco defense, they're hungry. They're ready to go out there and destroy people. Wait, like we were talking earlier in our text chat about Nick Bonito being signed before week 1, or here in the next couple of days. This team is super hungry. I would not be surprised if this team go out there and get 6, 7 sacks on him itself, or if not more. That's potentially that could happen because this defensive line, these linebackers that we have, he's going to have a hard day. It's going to be a rough day for him here in the Mile High. And I was just telling Julio on my TikTok right now because he was asking who we were playing. And I was just telling him, what a way to enter in the NFL is you're playing one of the best defenses right now in the league, and you're a rookie quarterback. That's welcome to the NFL, rookie. That, and I've said this before already in other shows. They are going to have it hard. And yes, it might be the narrative, but again, you know what? Our defense is going to prove otherwise. And then you know what? Bo Nix is going to show you why he's going to be potentially MVP this year.
Yeah, and the only reason I bring this up, folks, is because I had somebody tell me that today. Because as you guys know, I run a weekly football pool, and so far, every single sheet that's been turned into me has been Broncos. There's been 1 or 2 people that picked Tennessee, but they're about to learn that they picked the wrong freaking team. So we were in this situation last year, and we had to face the Seahawks first and then the Steelers, which were 2 very, very difficult, tough games for an up-and-coming rookie. And as far as I can remember, Libre, and you guys can correct me if you'd like, if you want to go back that far, when Bo Nix lost both of those games, we didn't use that as an excuse. Yes, obviously, Bo Nix was new. It was his first time in the NFL. He had a fantastic preseason last year, but it wasn't the absolute narrative. And it wasn't a blowout either. We only had 1 blowout loss last year, Libre, and that was against the Ravens.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because the Ravens were, and they're still a very dangerous team to play, mind you. And that has not changed this year. So the Broncos are definitely climbing up that ladder to be par with those teams, with your Cincinnati's, with your Baltimore's, with your Buffalo's. A part of me likes to think that we've already surpassed the Chiefs, and the Broncos will definitely prove that this year. That's a different story. So for Tennessee's coming into Denver, and they're coming up against a team that, yes, while they did make the playoffs, they faced one of the tougher teams in the AFC. So it wasn't exactly a cakewalk for them. And yes, we got clobbered in that game, but it was against a really good Buffalo football team who literally still remembered when we beat them by one by, was it a point or two, the last time they played in Buffalo. So they definitely remembered that. And it was a bad day in the office after that very first drive. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. So, especially with all the new weapons and toys the Broncos have had picked up over the last since January, has been amazing. And we cannot wait to see it hit the field. I personally feel sorry for Cam Ward and all those guys, because they're literally, it's like wood to a buzzsaw. That's really what it is.
Adan, stop. Stop. Don't feel sorry for those suckers. Come on. It's game week. We're not going to feel sorry for those guys. I don't want to hear it. Let's go, man. They get paid. They're getting paid to play a game. We don't feel sorry for them. Just like when people did not feel sorry for us when we were down in Miami and so forth. Trust me, don't feel sorry for these guys. It might be a situation where we just are put on the gas and we're just going to be out there and we might put up 70 points on them this weekend. But I do not feel sorry for these guys. Come on, it's game week. There's no friendliness until the game is over. And we're like, okay, good game. And then we're on to the next.
Oh, well, let me correct myself. I'm not saying that I feel like sorry that they're going to lose. I feel sorry for them that we're their first opponent, Libre. And definitely, I want my Broncos to win. Of course. It just sucks that for them, this is going to be how they start their season, you know? So, and there's a couple other games that we're going to get into later on, Libre, where we're going to probably have that exact same feeling when we discuss matchup types. So, for the Broncos, they did the starters, and we talked about this before in the last couple of weeks, Libre. They did kind of have a slow start, so hopefully that doesn't carry over into the regular season. Again, I'm hanging my hat on the fact that these were plays that the Broncos were not going to run during the regular season, and it's more like, well, let's see if it works type of thing. Kind of like what you would do if you were playing Madden and you were winning. You'd probably use plays that you'd never used before type of thing. So that's what I chalk it up to. But we got some people here in the comments, Libre, your cousin, saying, "What's up, brothers? Game Wreck is here. Let's go." Oh, I think he meant to say
go. He meant to say game week. But yeah, he's probably a little high, a little drunk, whatever. That's okay, primo. We love you still.
Yeah, and D-Rock saying, "Hey, Don Libre."
What's
to
happening, Vato
Juan
Loco?
and D-Rock. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Shy Vargas jumping in saying, "Me and my friend Justin are going to Buffalo Wild Wings on Sunday." Hey, that's fantastic, man. I'm probably just going to sit at home, to be honest with you. Although I do envy Libre, because Libre is probably going to be in his mask and cape by like 4 or 5 a.m. Mountain Time, I feel like.
On Sunday, you already know, because it's happening. I'm going straight to the stadium, and I'm actually leaving my house about 4:30 in the morning to get to the stadium so we can be in line. I actually have a buddy that's actually going to go and park his car overnight so that we're guaranteed a spot into the parking lot.
Your cousin jumping in saying, "I fully expect the Broncos to dominate the Titans." I definitely do.
100%.
Mike Carmelini reposting the stream. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
So much, Mike, especially
Appreciate you, brother.
guys. If you haven't checked him out, Mike has got a new show on his channel. The amount of growth that Mike has done since he launched is incredible. I love his shows. I'm always tuned in. Make sure you guys watch him. We gotta have Mike. If you're still here watching us, send us a DM, man. We gotta have you on the show one of these days. Let's work something out. But thank you so much for reposting the stream. We definitely appreciate your support. But with that being said, Libre, the thing that really excites me about this matchup is the fact that we're going to get to see um, Cody Barton. He's coming back.
Yep.
On the opposite side, mind you. And there was another player.
Draymond Jones.
Thank you. Draymond Jones. And isn't Cushenberry with the Titans still?
Yeah, he's the center for he's the center.
So 3 former Broncos are going to be on the defensive side of the ball against our offensive line. And I do not envy, let me take that back, except for Cushenberry. Cushenberry is going to be trying to stop Zach Gallen or Fred Jones. So I do not envy him. Although I will say there are times where I do miss Cushenberry in Denver. But with that being said, it is definitely, I hope it becomes America's game of the week, because it is definitely, I know all eyes are going to be on Cam Ward, Libre, as it is every single year with the number 1 draft pick, whether it's quarterback or what have you. Last year it was Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams in their respective games. And the Bears beat the Titans week 1. And that was when when Will Levis tried to do that god-awful pass and it just got pick 6. And I'm telling you, as somebody that lives in Chicago, they talked about that game like it was the Bears Super Bowl.
Well, that's all they could really hang on to. Like, the Bears are a different beast.
Now, is there a part of the Titans, Libre, that would you say kind of maybe worries you a bit?
Really, the only thing that would possibly worry me, but it's not a huge thing, is what Cam Ward can really do. It's like we see his college film, but now we don't know what he's really going to do here in the NFL. Is he going to be that godsend and he's going to be there like what Jaden Daniels did for the Commanders last year and right off the gate, and it was just going to be out there? That's the only thing that could potentially be a worrisome, because we don't really have any true film on him to actually see it. But I can tell you that those worries really disappear real quick because of our defense. So I have no fear that he's going to be able to do anything against this defense itself. But other than that, the rest of the team does not. I'm not afraid of any of the rest of this team itself at all.
The only part that I would say kind of worries me a little bit, Libre, and that's just because we haven't seen the full defense on display yet.
Yeah.
And it would probably be the running game, because Tony Pollard, he might be small, but he's quick as heck. And as you said, we don't really have any tape on Cam Ward. Obviously, we're expecting him to be green behind the ears per se, which is nice. But the one thing that the Broncos were weak at the last couple of years has been, the running attack. Take for last year, for example, Derrick Henry just ran all over us all freaking game.
Yeah.
So I do hope with the additions of Tufanga and Greenlaw that reinforces that defensive line, that linebacker core, and puts the running game to sleep. But as much as I want to say that the whole thing is going to be stomped, there's always, you got to take everything with caution. Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to be close or that the Titans are going to win, because no, the frick they're not. But that reminds me, and I was going to send you the video, Libre. There's this guy on TikTok. He's a giant Titans fan, and he was watching. I don't know if he was watching tape. He was watching something on the Broncos, and he was just kind of like, he was dogging the entire time. Like from PS2 to Greenlaw to Tufanga to Knicks, and it was probably like one of the funniest videos I've ever seen, because, I try to always promote sportsmanship regardless of the matchup. Even against our division rivals, we hate the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Raiders here, obviously. But it just really, when you see stuff like that, it makes your blood boil. So it's like, you know what? I would probably, if I could, I'd tell Sean Payton, do what Daniels did, and just go to the crowd in the third quarter and have them pick the plays.
Right. We're going to say the annexation of Puerto Rico. Let's go.
Exactly. So it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad day for Tennessee. Don't be surprised if the Titans end up being another top 10 pick next year, Libre, because the way things are, I'm not knocking Cam Ward per se because I haven't seen him play, but it's going to take more for that team. And it might even take a new coach, Libre, because losing games like this when you play teams like the Broncos are definitely what's going to get your seat really heated up in the coaching aspect anyway. If the Titans get blown out, like I think that they're going to get blown out this Sunday.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, they're going to be another top 5 pick guaranteed this upcoming year. And it's not a knock to Cam Ward. It's not a knock. It's just the whole system. It's a system. It's the personnel that they currently have as well. You can't just, it's not one person that's going to change your franchise altogether. Even when we got John Elway back in 83 or whatever, he still had a rough time coming in. It wasn't until a couple years later when he actually got a couple more weapons where he was able to produce and get out there. But Cam Ward is not going to be that person this year for them. It's going to take them a couple of years before they're going to be any relevance if the system continues to be improving for them itself.
Agreed. Also, I forgot to say hello to all the people in chat. Fanatic Deck saying, what's up? What's going on? Callie saying, hey, hi, Callie. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know some of the people in my TikTok are people that usually come and watch me stream games. So I do apologize for not gaming right now. But I did put it out there that every Wednesday and Friday, Libre, we do podcast talk. So
see, senor.
Hopefully it's to their liking. Juan jumping in saying Ward is going to sell Block D this Sunday night. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what he's talking about, there it is right there. He is going to sell Block D.
There.
He is getting prepared to get locked down.
Locked down. Get them locked down. All of them. Let's go.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, we are not going with no fly zone 2.0. So please stop saying that. This year, this defense is going to be known as Cell Block D. So shout out to Johnny I'm guessing Johnny made this for us.
Yeah, he needs to update it real quick because I see some gold and red and in there. We need to change that up. Let's go, Johnny. What's taking you so long?
Yeah. Let's add more to Johnny's plate. Why don't we?
That's why I said it.
You heard that, Johnny? Get to work.
Ponte a trabajar ya, güey.
The fact that he probably knows what that means.
Right? You know what? I'm gonna have to be telling him something on Sunday too. I said because he's gonna be coming to the game on Sunday and he's gonna be at the tailgate. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to put him to work. He's not gonna be there freeloading at the tailgate, enjoying some beers. You're gonna work for those beers, but let's go.
You know what, Libre? I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I had my fantasy draft this past Saturday, and I didn't get to draft a single Bronco.
Are you even a Broncos, bro? Come on.
Do you even Broncos, bro? I swear to you, I thought that I would get them. I was in 10th out of 12 people. So I was hoping to get something back on the snake, and I wasn't able to. I couldn't land Bo Nix. I couldn't land RJ Harvey. Even Mims went. And
so, like,
went.
My thing is, I was today, right before our draft, too, is I had a work draft, and in all 3 of my leagues, I was able to get Troy Franklin with either my second to last or my last pick, which surprised me why I was able to still get him that super late because I think Troy Franklin's going to go off this year. Just what I've seen actually during training camp and during the game and when we played against Arizona and just the games that in general, like Troy Franklin, I think, is going to rip it up, and he's going to be one of those top, second wide receiver 2, almost wide receiver 3 option for people that are out there. If you're going to go out there, and if you're in a league and Troy Franklin did not get picked up, you guys better go pick him up off the wire right now and have him on your bench, because you don't know if he's going to be able to, because you can put him in your flex position, and I guarantee you this year that he's going to go off. I think he's going to have a great year this year.
Actually, let me show you my squad, Libre, and you can give me your honest opinion. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in, bro? Yeah, your starting quarterback is sus already.
Michael Penix.
Yeah. He might have a good year, but I don't think it's going to be a good year for him. Let's see. Why isn't it?
I don't know, man. There's just something that I really enjoyed seeing out of Michael Penix last year towards the end. And I think that in that division with Darnell Mooney and hell, if the Falcons get hot, they might, pick up other players. So
okay, my first question is, what pick did you get Ashton Genty at?
I'm not gonna say.
Don't tell me you picked him number 1 overall, because you're not even a Broncos fan anymore.
I plead the 5th.
I already know. I
didn't say anything. I plead the
because
5th,
I
bro.
already know. I already know, bro.
Hey, I Broncos, bro. Okay. But I'm trying. I know I picking up Ayuk was a giant reach, but in a 12-man league, after like the 5th, maybe 5th, 6th round, that's when you really, like, your football knowledge really comes back to you. And I'm hoping that my squad can kind of carry me through up until it's time. Ayuk comes back. If not, then maybe trade or something. But I relied so much on my wide receivers last year that I'm trying to rely. The guy that won our league last year got carried by Derrick Henry, literally, and he had Saquon. So I'm hoping that Derrick Henry can give me the same success that he gave him. And Genty, the only reason I drafted Genty is because I feel like the Raiders are going to be playing from behind a lot, and when they do, they're going to probably keep running the ball. And we already saw what Boise State looks like without Genty. If you guys follow college football, I followed a little bit, not a lot, but Boise State looked terrible without Genty there this year. So
I don't know how much you watch about NFL, though. If a team's going behind, they don't tend to run the ball anymore. They put the ball and they put it in the QB's hand and throw the ball. If they're coming from behind, they're not trying to waste clock. They're trying to save the clock. So maybe your logic of thinking is different than mine, but I do feel that Genty is not going to go. And it's funny that how I already knew, because every single one of my leagues, Genty was a first-round pick by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first 10 picks, yeah. And it's just crazy to me that I think that a lot of people think that he's going to do well this year, when I honestly, me and my own personal opinion, not just because I'm biased and a Bronco fan, I mean, but I feel like he's not going to do well. He played in the Mountain West Conference. Mm-hmm. And the Mountain West Conference is not as strong as the ACC, SEC, or whatever, so I feel like it's good. He's going to hit the NFL, and he's going to be surprised on how well some of these defensive players are there.
I think he's already surprised, to be honest with you. But I had to take a gamble, Libre. Being 10th, all the good running backs were pretty much gone by then. Except for maybe CMC, but CMC is such a huge gamble, Libre.
That's such a gamble, yeah. That was like an option for me to pick in the draft today, and picking up CMC because he fell to the number 8 spot for me, and I actually I actually passed on him and actually picked up Lad McConkey as my first pick. And I was like, there's no way I can't trust him, like, because he's too injury prone right now, and I can't do it. And I think Baki was saying too that he gambled with him with CMC last year, and he basically got hurt last year because of it.
I will never forget it. I was working and that Monday Night Football game, and everybody's phone got the same alert that CMC was not going to play against the Jets, and you just heard the biggest WTF from down the hall from somebody who had Christian McCaffrey. Like, oh my God. Talk about, what he was supposed to be, but it wasn't. I mean, it's terrible.
Guess who I have on my TikTok right now?
What's up?
I have Notorious. The Broncos bro got Notorious on their show last week. Yeah, it was last week. They got him on the show with the guy that does the painting, and he wants to join the live right now. So I'm gonna jump on here right here, get him on real quick, and then I'll come right back. Okay.
Sure. I mean, it's just crazy, folks. How we seriously take, just to kind of break away from the topic for a little bit. I know we were talking about fantasy, but every single year, like we all get together. At least for me, in our league, we do act like on in-person drafts. We don't do the whole online thing. We did that for long enough, but we decided to go back to doing in-person drafts. So this year we got a title belt. We shout out to Trophy Smack. Their title belt was amazing, man. It really was, and it is probably the heaviest belt I've ever had to hold up, and it was freaking amazing. And I really want to win that thing because I'm the commissioner in my league, so I'm the one that has to, hand it off to all the other winners and the prize money as well. So this year I'm hoping to keep all that for myself because I've never won a championship before. I've been to the finals once, like 10 years ago, I think. And I had Todd Gurley, and that was when Todd Gurley was a freaking monster, and he got me all that far. And then on the one game where I really needed him, let me down, and I lost. Shout out to Coco, the guy that I was playing that year, who beat me for the championship. But going back to the Titans game, it really will come down to a matter of basically, like I said at the beginning of the show, guys, the Broncos were listed as the number 9 team out of 10, out of the top 10 on NFL.com power rankings. But the only reason that they weren't any higher is because there are some questions as to where the Broncos fall offensively. Obviously we saw that the upgrades they made with Dre Greenlaw and Tufanga, which are fantastic. And then the pickup with Jahdae Barron was also fantastic as well. And you add that. So the defense is going to be top 5, top 3, dare I say, with my Broncos hat on. So it cannot get any better than that. So what Sean Payton needs to do is he needs to go out there, him and Bo Nix and the entire offense, and say that, yes, while the defense has stepped up and it has gotten stronger and better, the offense is going to be up to par, because if they're going to be Super Bowl contenders, they are going to have to go against some big powerhouses in January. Your Bills, your Bengals, your Ravens, and any other surprise teams that decide to stick their nose in our business, and the Chargers as well. We got swept by the Chargers last year, so that's definitely something that needs to change. And then the Chiefs, again, I will definitely say that we are not worried about the Chiefs. I know a lot of people have them winning the division again. Ladies and gentlemen, if last year was testament to anything, the Chiefs have to beat the Broncos, not the other way around. Okay. And I'm trying to keep it sportsmanlike with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, giving them their flowers and all that. But the Chiefs, are not going to have Rashid Rice for, what was it, 4 games, I think. So they're already going to be off to not the best start. And even when their starters were playing last year, the Broncos still had their number, and they only won by a blocked field goal. And a win is a win. That's fine. And we got our win from them in week 18. But they didn't play their starters. Who gives a diddle? Andy Reid could have put his starters in there for no freaking reason, but he chose not to. And the only person who feels that way is Joe Burrow or anybody in the Bengals. They're the only ones that feel that way. So you better believe that the offense is going to come out swinging on Sunday, and the Titans are going to be the piñata, pretty much. And I personally cannot wait to see, Libre, what the Broncos offense has in store.
Do you want me to bring the stick, or should I ask Johnny to bring the stick? Because we're gonna be out there, and it's gonna be so much fun, man. We're gonna hit them so hard in the mouth, and it's gonna be like that piñata, and we're just gonna gut them out, and all the chocolate, el dulce. We're gonna be there, man. Like, it's gonna be like, I don't know, like if we do fun like the confetti on week 1. Like, should we even bring that out, bro? Let's do it.
I would say bring them out, bro.
There we go.
Exactly. Although I will say it will kind of be nice to see Brian Callahan back in Denver, Libre, even though he is on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah.
But just seeing him or hearing his name brings back that nostalgic feeling of how it was when he was here and he was on the coaching staff coaching Peyton Manning. And I honestly believe, Libre, that everything that Manning did for Denver is what highlighted Brian Callahan's career. Although
100%.
I will say that him coming to Tennessee and replacing Brian Vrabel has not gone well for him. It definitely has not.
No, and well, again, it's going to be like another scenario with McDaniels. You think he's going to be that type of person that's going to be able to do it, but he just, like, for McDaniels though, he ruined our franchise. 10 years later, he ruined the Raiders, but the Raiders are already bad at that point anyways, and still continuing to be bad. They might be in a little uptick right now with Pete Carroll there, but it's his first year. We'll see what happens. But I don't think that there are certain quarterbacks that are going to be, or not quarterbacks, but coaches that are going to be out there that are going to be a great for the system, like Gary Kubiak, great coordinator for a great long time, a great head coach. But then you have some of the other guys that are better off just the positional coaches itself. We can go back to Vance Joseph. We can go back to Fangio, and all that. Like, they attempted to be head coaches. They weren't there. They might be able to get there again, but I feel like where they excel at is these coordinator positions where they do such a phenomenal job. Head coaching job is not for everyone. And this may not be the same thing for him as well. Like, it's not going to be the same thing.
I agree. And like I said earlier, guys, this is one of those games where if the Titans, or let me rephrase that, when the Titans lose, and if they lose by a lot, it's what's really going to put him under the microscope and say, hey, granted, the additions that the Titans got were not like things of high grandeur, not to take anything away from Cody Barton, but it's going to take more than that. Again, I do repeat. And the Titans, they weren't all that bad before, but they gave up on, Hopkins. And I still, to this day, I still think they should have stuck with Mariota. Mariota was a whole lot more relevant in Tennessee than anywhere he's been since. And I feel like Tennessee gave up on him way too earlier.
Well, it's because they're still losing, and that's part of the problem as well. You can't there's something that's going on. It's coaching, it's the players, it's the system. And that's part of it as well. Everything has to gel together in order to have this good camaraderie of teams and players and whatnot. And I feel like that's what the Broncos had for the longest time as well, that we didn't have that. And now you see that we do. And you see the difference, and you see how fast the transition goes as well. You can see that. I can say that for the Commanders as well, because over in 1 year they had Jaden Daniels, and now look where they were. They were in the NFC Championship game this last year. But I also feel like they don't have the type of players or the locker room that the Broncos have because of certain things, of a certain wide receiver that's going out there and doing. Even though, Von Miller went over there to go play over there with them, Von Miller is really there for the locker room aspect of it. But once you have a cancer in there, and sorry, Terry, but you're part of it. You're not part of the team. You're not doing all that. Like we have Cortland Sutton. Same thing was going on where he was wanting a new contract. But guess what? He's a professional. He came in, he worked, and he got rewarded. Yes, you got rewarded too and got paid maybe more than Sutton. But guess what? Who's going to have a better stat-wise or better numbers this for the next couple of years with your contract? Let me tell you, I believe that it's going to be Cortland Sutton over this time frame. And he'd probably get more money overall in his career. But I'm super excited overall. I actually just had somebody here. I'm gonna call him out right now. Let's go WDK79 on my TikTok. He comes out here and he says, Titans may shock y'all. And I ended up telling him, I go, you know what? The only thing that I could see that the Titans actually shocking us this weekend is if they actually score any points against this defense. Yeah. That's the only shock that I would have.
Yeah, if they can get a touchdown, because this might be the game where you might want to get their kicker, because I can see them settling for field goals to avoid a goose egg. But again, that's just putting the carriage before the horse.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Tennessee, we were in your position last year. We were really thinking that Bo Nix was going to go in there and light up Seattle and light up the Steelers the following week. And we were wrong. Okay. So I'm not saying don't support your team, but keep it within the realm of reality type of thing. Because you're playing against a defensive player of the year. Okay. You're playing against Jahdae Barron, who had a really good preseason. And that kid is going to be all over the field. All right. And you better believe that Riley Moss is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder because he's going to have a lot to prove. And he's just waiting for that rematch against the Bengals more than anything. And he's going to treat the Titans game as just another warm-up game, to be honest with you. That defense, I almost wanted it to eat my pen when the Broncos defense got picked before I could pick them. Because, dare I say, Libre, going back to our little fantasy chat, the Broncos defense is going to win a lot of people a lot of games.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to happen because I could see that they may have at least 7, 8 pick sixes throughout the year. The amount of turnovers that these guys are going to produce, the sacks that we're going to produce. Like, this defense is going to put up numbers for these fantasy owners for this upcoming year. And then what a way to start off the season against the Titans, where you're already padding your stats for the year already with this game, because I feel like they're going to have a heyday. It's going to be a long, rough afternoon on Sunday for these Titans.
Have you seen any Titans fans around town, Libre?
Not here in Denver, not yet. I'll probably see some on Saturday. I think they're already going to there's a couple of Titan fans that said that they're going to be coming up to my fan meetup on Saturday that I heard of. But we'll see some more on Sunday for sure.
Yeah, because I've already seen a couple of Vikings fans here in Chicago, which is common because the Vikings and the Bears are rivals. But I didn't expect to see them here this early. They don't play until Monday night, Libre. So I don't know if some of the folks that I saw were just they actually live here in Chicago, or if they're just visiting or what have you. But it is Soldier Field, I believe, is going to be not maybe divided. Obviously, it's the Bears house, and there's a lot of Bears fans here. But don't be surprised if you see a good amount of purple and white in that audience on Monday Night Football.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And as for the Broncos, and that's kind of like another misconception, Libre. I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the overtime aspect of the show, but I've been seeing a whole lot of comments from people that say or believe that just because you live in a certain area that you're supposed to root for that team. Just because I live in Chicago, I should automatically root for the Bears. Just because Johnny lives in Tennessee, he should root for the Titans, type of thing. And I always have the same argument where it's like, you do realize that there are people in Denver that live there that aren't Broncos fans. So when their favorite team comes to visit, they get a chance to go and rep for their team, the away team, not the team of the city that they live in.
So, but like with Johnny, you have to remember with Johnny, he was born and raised here in Colorado and then moved out of state. So I can see that. My thing is when you have some of these fans that were born here in Denver, grew up here in Denver, their whole lives, like I'll say I have a couple of coworkers I used to work with, grew up here in Colorado, but they're Raider fans. Like, how is that possible? Like, how is that doesn't even make sense. But of course, you hear the stories of why they became a fan of these teams. It's because a family member liked them and so forth, and they grew up because they idolized this family member. So they're like, okay, I'm gonna follow their team. I still don't get it. It's like, make your own decision. I get you want to support your family, but you grew up here. Come on, like, especially the Raiders.
I mean, I honestly don't. It doesn't matter to me personally who you root for. Who you root for is your business, and who you decide whose logo you're going to represent, that's on you. But to make the assumption that just because you were from somewhere, I was born in Mexico City, so I have no actual allegiance to the Bears or the Broncos, respectively, from the get-go. Again, you guys have heard me tell my story of how I became a Broncos fan, but in case for those that didn't know, I'll quickly reiterate, is I first saw them on the Simpsons episode when they were being made fun of always being the team in the 80s to be the best during the regular season, but when they went to the Super Bowl, they choked 3 different times. So that's just who the Broncos were known. That's how I got affiliated with them. And the very first football game I ever seen in my life, full from start to finish, not just highlights, was the Super Bowl where the Broncos beat the Falcons. And that was John Elway's last year. I fell in love with the Broncos. I fell in love with John Elway's gameplay. And of course, with my luck, the following year, he decides to retire. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, just rep your team. Be proud of who it is that you choose to represent. And if you're going to talk smack, but be gracious in defeat. That's all I'm going to say. Learn how to lose, which is a whole lot easier said than done because some people don't know how to do that. But again, just like you can talk smack when you win, you got to learn how to lose. So to speak, right, Libre?
Of course. And I was just actually talking to one of my followers here on TikTok, 9 Ball Wizard, talking about that. He mentioned at that WDK 79 about the Titans not going to do nothing against us. And he goes, welcome to the NFL, Rook. And that's just going to be going back to that narrative. It's like the you being the number 1 overall pick, coming into your very first NFL game where it actually counts, and now you're playing again the best defense. Like, it has to be rough. I was just telling him here, I was like, what? Like, the Broncos are going to put a hurt on him, and I feel like the Broncos may even have him questioning, does he even want to suit up for week 2 for his team? Like, because of the hurt that I feel like the Broncos are going to do to him, and it's going to be tough, like for them to even do anything against us, because now that we have an offense, that we have a run game, we're gonna see if this run game is legit this upcoming weekend, because I feel like this is part of what we were hurting over the last several years, or for the longest time, forever. But I feel like with what we've gotten so far with J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, I feel like these 2 guys are going to give us this run game that we've been missing for years. And it's only going to help out Bo Nix, so now everything is going to be on him. And you know what I love about this part about it as well? Is the play action. Because once you think that that's going to be a running play, guess what? He just does a little hook, and there it is, wide open, because those corners are going to be crashing down because they feel like it's going to be a handoff. And it's going to be open, and it's going to be open season for these guys. And we're going to be showing a lot this first week. But you know what? I'm super excited for it. I'm ready to see all these fireworks. Man, like, just the excitement already, man. I can't wait for it, man. I wish it was Sunday, guys. Come on.
Me too. And speaking of excitement, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump a little bit early onto our next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of regulation, which means that Libre and I are ready to go into some overtime.
Let's go. If he's still out there for the next several hours or several years, he's going to think about this game itself as being his worst game. But welcome to overtime, guys. Now let's go.
And that was Libre introducing us to the OT part of today's show. I don't think he knew
unscripted.
Yeah.
No, I know. I forgot to mute it, and I was like, let me go there.
Hey. That's the thing that we love about this show, Libre, is that nothing's scripted. We do everything off the top of our little.
Oh, Libre After Dark? Oh wait, not yet.
Libre.
It's not dark yet.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where Libre and I let our hair down figuratively, and we talk about anything that
let's
we
go.
Thank
you guys so much for
that. Normally during the off season, and it's still out there where we can do if we want. You know, there's something we want to put out there, but during the regular season, Libre and I like to kind of put our heads together and go over the matchups and give our personal opinion about who we think are going to win. And this year, I want to see which one of us gets the most wins in terms of points. So, Libre, let's start off with Thursday night kickoff tomorrow, the Cowboys versus the Eagles. I am going to say that the Eagles win that game. What say you?
I'm going to say fly, Eagle, fly, because I can't say we them boys.
I mean, I just don't see how people can, at least in my confidence pool that I do, how people can pick the Cowboys and say that Dak Prescott is going to go in there and beat the defending world champions, a Vic Fangio-led defense with most of the same players still intact, Libre. And again, I don't agree with the Micah Parsons trade. I think that that Jerry Jones is out of his freaking mind, and everybody keeps trying to call it the Herschel Walker trade 2.0, but it is nothing like that. And if you were going to try to go for a trade like that, you would try to get picks from a team that's going to be bad, like the Titans or the Saints, a team that you know is going to be top in draft selection next year. The Packers have always been late first rounders, and now with Micah Parsons on their defense, Libre, I think that they're going to be definitely late round. And don't be surprised if they trade out of the first round just to spite the Cowboys.
Well, I don't think they can, because now
they can't anymore.
Yeah,
but,
because because that pick is going to be for the Cowboys no matter where they land at. But I agree with you as well. Even though they got 2 first-round picks for him, like he's going to be there in the late 20s. It's good that that's going to happen. I do feel like the Packers are going to have a great year this year, and they're going to make it a good move into the playoffs. I would love to see a rematch of Super Bowl 32. You know, what way for the Packers fans or the Packers to say, you know what, thank you so much for giving us him, and guess what? Now you have pick number 31 because the Broncos are going to get 32. Like, you know, so something that they can do that and put that back into them is like the perfect scenario overall. But I do that's another thing, because I've been watching the Netflix documentaries too about the Cowboys and so forth. So, you know, a lot of it has to do, like they said, that was probably the dumbest move that they did. But guess what they were able to do is they rebuilt their team to the franchise there in the 90s to win the championships. But this year, like with the trade now, he's just trying to repeat history for himself because it's already been 30 years ago or whatnot, over 30 years. And he needs to do something because they haven't been relevant in such a long time. I love watching these TikToks too about all these Cowboy fans, like these wives trolling their husbands and whatnot, talking about like, why are you gonna watch this? What are you gonna do? Like, why? And you know, being faithful, doing all that. Like, why do you even do that? You believe in the Cowboys so much, and they fail you every single year. And of course, the husband's always like, oh, like it's just funny to watch. So, and I'm excited, and I'm excited for it to see it as well here in the Mile High City, as well when they do come in town.
Yeah, and the chat says Eagles too. So,
yep,
I'm going to include the chat as well. So
there we go. I like it.
So we're all in on the Eagles. It should be. I think that game will probably be over by halftime. In terms of, you know, because Friday night game, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chargers, Libre. Me and you were talking about this a little bit during the backstage. They're playing in Brazil, and I thought that the NFL learned their lesson last year in playing in Brazil. So I'm surprised that they're back. So hopefully we don't see none of the shenanigans that we saw last year in terms of, you know, the turf and all that and whatnot.
You know what? And I feel like they might have an agreement with Brazil to bring a couple of games over, because they were like, we're not going to convert our stadium to NFL thing unless you give us multiple years. So I think that's part of the only reason why they're going back to Brazil. But, you know, I feel like some of the players like it, and then there's some players that don't because it's a long travel or whatnot. But again, it's something different. And my next step is, like, if the Broncos happen to get put into another international game, but if they go down to Mexico, I'm there. Like, no questions about it. I'm going straight down to Mexico, and we're going to Mexico City and have a great time. Because, like I mentioned earlier, we're hosting the Mexico crew here in Denver this weekend, and it's just going to be an actual straight-out party.
Yeah. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that the Chargers lost Slater, I would be more likely to pick them. But them losing out on that is just like music to the Chiefs defensive coordinator year. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs to barely win that game. What say you, Libre?
Yeah, this is going to be a one close game as well. And I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Okay. And the Chargers, and the Chargers. The chat say Chargers too. So Libre, Chargers, chat, Chargers. All right. That makes sense. Sunday, Tampa Bay versus the Falcons, Libre. Another divisional matchup. Last year, the Bucks beat the... Was it the Bucks that beat the Falcons? The Falcons beat the Bucks.
I think the Bucks won.
Yeah, they swept the Falcons. We know that Michael Penix is going to be the starter this year. It's not going to be Kirk Cousins. So, like, a part of me wants to say that the Falcons get revenge and they get that win. So I am going to say Falcons, but by probably a field goal.
So is the game in Atlanta, or is it in?
It's in Atlanta.
Okay, give me Baker Mayfield all day.
Baker Mayfield. Although I wouldn't be surprised because Baker Mayfield with Godwin and Evans and that new kid McMillan,
Yep.
those guys were a duo. And Bucky Irving is,
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
yeah. And chat says Falcons.
Falcons.
So gonna give it to them. The Bengals versus the Browns, another divisional matchup, Libre, in Cleveland.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Yeah, they don't have a defense, Libre, but the Cleveland doesn't really have a good offense
No.
built yet. So it's going to be another bad day at the office for the Browns defense because they're going to try to keep the team steady. But there's only so much that Myles Garrett and Ward can do in terms of trying to stay relevant, especially against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Right.
Although I'm surprised that Hendrickson signed. I thought he was really going to get traded.
That was a true a true why. Like I did he got paid. That's why. I think that's really why it came down to it.
Yeah. But it's more like an extension. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be with the Bengals next year. They're probably not going to want to pay him that much. You know. Miami at Indianapolis, Libre. There's just something about Daniel Jones that rubs me the wrong way. I don't think Indiana definitely does not have their quarterback. It's not Richardson, and it's definitely not Jones.
So who's starting? I didn't see who's starting for that.
Daniel Jones is starting.
Danny Dimes starting?
Yeah,
okay.
Danny Dimes. If the Colts do win that game, it's probably going to be off the back of Jonathan Taylor, honestly. But as long as Tua is throwing a football to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the Dolphins' defense is definitely sus, but their offense is definitely explosive. I think Achane was hurt, but he is slated to play. So I'm going to pick the Dolphins on that one. What say you, Mr. Libre?
I'll pick the Dolphins of Miami as well.
Yeah, and it is not going to be good because the following week the Colts play the Broncos. So,
yep,
and I will be at that game.
And
the chat says,
the chat says Miami.
Miami. Carolina at Jacksonville. Oof.
Damn, this is
I'm only gonna say Jacksonville just because I think that Sunshine and Travis Hunter are going to outshine Bryce Young and who's ever left in Carolina, Chubba Hubbard.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say the same thing as well. I think that that Sunshine to Travis Hunter is gonna be a thing, and it's gonna be fun to watch them. And what's even going to be funner is in December when Jacksonville here is in town and they don't do nothing. And the chat says Jags as well.
Jags, yeah. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Patriots in New England. I've been racking my brain over this one, guys. And, obviously I never want to see the Raiders win. But I think that kid Travion Henderson, that guy looks like he's the real deal, and he's been going on a lot of drafts, Libre.
No, he has. I actually have him in one of my leagues as well, and I'm super excited to see him play. And with that revamped offense, I feel like that the New England has, they could be one of those sleeper teams that could make the wild card this year, and surprise everyone in the league, like how the Broncos were last year. But I don't see that the Raiders have enough, and especially it's going to be in New England. I'm going to take New England. Yeah,
there's just something about Geno Smith that rubs me the wrong way, and I still don't think that Pete Carroll is the right answer. I don't care what anybody says.
It doesn't matter what they say.
I think the Raiders were better off trying to get Chucky to come back to coach the team instead of going out and getting Pete Carroll or Geno Smith for that matter. The Cardinals at New Orleans.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Yeah. Marvin Harrison is due for a breakout. I mean, that guy was supposed to light up the league last year, and it just didn't happen. And this should be a cakewalk for the Cardinals because Spencer Rattler is definitely not the answer for Kellen Moore. And I'm pretty sure Kellen Moore is just going to try to make the best with what he can do. And when he gets the number 1 pick, which I believe the Saints will be next year, then Kellen Moore can start rebuilding the team in the way that he wants to build the team. So, but I do not envy him. It is definitely going to be another really rough season in New Orleans. Steelers
AZ as well.
Yeah, Steelers versus the Jets.
Ooh,
Rodgers
Rodgers
versus Fields revenge game. They just switched places.
Exactly. For me, I think Pittsburgh's going to win that game. They just have a better defense, and Justin Fields isn't going to be able to do anything. He just has Garrett Wilson, and that's it. That's all I feel like he has.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be the Steelers. I think that the Steelers will win because of the defense, not so much because of Aaron Rodgers. Because that scrambling, if what's his name was still coaching the Jets, I think that the defense would be more formidable. But Aaron Glenn definitely has his work cut out for him. I'm not sure if this is his first time as a head coach, but he literally walked into a crap storm. And as good as Justin Fields probably is or will be as the quarterback in terms of mobility, I mean, Garrett Wilson, he's a great wide receiver, but he's not always going to be open. And I couldn't name you the wide receiver 2 and 3 from the Jets if I wanted to. What did the chat say? Chat, who do you think is going to win that one? The Steelers or Pitt? I'm sorry.
Pitt, yep.
I'm slow. I was looking at the top. Giants versus Commanders, another division game, Libre, and the start for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough. Their Commanders are they're too good. The Commanders are end up going to win. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Von Miller sacks Russell Wilson. That's what
That'd be
want
nice.
to see.
That'd be nice to see. And I'm gonna post that everywhere too, because they're gonna be highlights.
Everybody in Broncos country is going to be posting that. A former Bronco sacking another former
Bronco.
Now, obviously, the Broncos over the Titans. We talked a whole lot about that. 49ers at Seattle. Another division game, Libre.
So where's the game at?
In Seattle.
In Seattle, okay. This one's going to be a close game.
Sam Darnold without Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson. No DK Metcalf or what's his name?
Yeah, but who just went over there to Cooper Kupp is in Seattle.
Kupp, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take Seattle.
You're going to take Seattle? I think the 49ers are going to win that game just for the simple fact that as long as CMC can run, they have a chance. And Brock Purdy does have somewhat with Juwan Jennings and I forget the name of that other kid. So I'm going to say 49ers in a close one. Probably might be decided by a Mooney kick.
And Mike Primo's fired.
Yeah. Yay, thanks for picking.
and so is Shy. He's fired.
Another divisional game. The Detroit Lions at Green Bay.
Ooh-wee.
The first
that
Ben
was
Johnson-less game, yeah. I'm just going to say the Packers, Libre, because I think that the Packers are stacked.
I agree with you as well, and it's a home game for the Packers, so I'm going with the Packers.
And I mean, it'll be crazy to see Michael Parsons flying around in the green and yellow. I feel sorry for the Lions. I know that they still have Gibbs and Aiden Hutchinson's coming back, but I still feel that the loss of Ben Johnson is definitely going to be significant.
Oh yeah.
And, obviously Aaron Glenn is gone and they have a new defensive coordinator. So they have a lot of new faces in Detroit. And it might take a while for all of that to gel together. But it doesn't do them any favors that their first game is against the Packers with a Micah Parsons-led Packers.
Correct.
The Texans at the Rams.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Texans on this one.
I am going to go with the Rams because I feel that the fact that the Houston, for some freaking reason, gave up their left tackle, what's his name, Tunzel? Is definitely going to bite them in the butt. And Matthew Stafford he can still sling the ball, and they got Devontae Adams now. Yeah. So, and the Rams have Verse, who was the defensive rookie of the year last year. That kid was everywhere. So I feel that on that alone, and CJ Stroud was really in that sophomore slump last year, and unless he can prove to me otherwise that it was just a fluke and that he can go back to being the CJ Stroud we saw him in his rookie year, it might be another bad day at the office for DeMeco Ryans and company. So, and chat says Rams too. So you're on that boat alone, Mr. Libre.
You know what? That gives me one up on you guys, so it's okay.
And then Sunday Night Football is back, baby, with the Baltimore Ravens at Buffalo.
Ooh, man, they put out the NFL did it right. Like all these top games. Holy cow. So where's the game at again?
In Buffalo.
In Buffalo. Wow. The MVP versus Lamar Jackson, who was almost an MVP last year as well. You know what? Give me the Ravens by like a field goal. This game is going to the end.
I think that the Bills are going to win this because there's just something about Buffalo at home that just makes them, it's like a superpower. And the only way I see the Ravens winning this game is if Derrick Henry goes buck wild.
And he is.
So I'm going to say Buffalo, and the chat says Bills. So thank you, chat, for sticking with me again.
That's another one up for Libre. Thank you, guys.
Oh, man. One of us is going to be higher than the other. That's for damn sure. And then Monday Night Football, Libre, the Vikings at Chicago.
Wow. It's truly what's J.J. McCarthy's first game as well. You know what? Let's go. The Bears.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to win this one just for the simple fact that the Vikings don't have Jordan Addison. Yes, they have Justin Jefferson, but without Addison, it helps it take some of the top off. Justin is probably going to be double team most of the night. We still don't know what J.J. McCarthy looks like. And but they do have what's his name, the running back. I can't think of his name. But he could be the deciding factor in that. But again, I think that the Bears being at home, Monday Night Football, is definitely going to be the thing. And the chat says that the Vikings are going to win that game. So, ooh la la. So that's where we draw the line, huh?
On Monday night.
On Monday Night Football. Oh, Libre, I got to tell you, I think this probably might be our most viewed episode of the year. We currently have over 50 people in the room right now, and that's amazing.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up, coming on a Wednesday night and viewing us. We heart you guys. Thank you. I agree. I know I was going to mention that to you earlier after we were done too. It's like, wow, this is phenomenal. thank you guys. 100% appreciation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a new record, especially for Broncos Talk. I don't think we've ever had this many viewers on at one time. But basically, it's really a beautiful thing, and again, I do apologize for not being able to have gone live this past Friday for Viva Los Broncos to our viewers. I was running behind schedule, and my nephew had his very first football game, and it's amazing to me how he's taking a liking to football, because when he was growing up, he was so much into basketball. And I was like, hey, whatever you like and whatever you want to do and pursue in terms of interest, or if you want to play, you have my support. And I don't know if he still likes basketball, but somewhere along the line, he just fell in love with football. And that's amazing. Now, the bad news is that unfortunately he fell in love with Kansas City. So he's a huge Chiefs fan, but I still love him nonetheless.
The way that I feel and I think about it now that you just say that is, I feel like you guys fell in love with the winning team at the time that you guys fell into football.
Very much.
Because you did it when the Broncos were winning the back-to-back Super Bowl. And I feel like just over the conversations that we've had backstage and whatnot, and talking about your nephew, and when he became a fan, and this is during the time that Kansas City was winning their Super Bowls. So I get it. You fell in love with the game, but at that time, that was who's winning Super Bowls, which is fine. But you have to get him straight after the season, after his football season, now that he understands what the game is about, and then show him the true history of what the Broncos are, so you can convert him to a Broncos country.
Well, the funny thing is that he's been to every Broncos game I've been to, except for like the very first one. That was the only one he's never been to. But the last 2 years I've been to Denver, he's been there with me. And 1 year I bought him a Von Miller jersey, and he wore it to the game. And he still has it. So again, but just, it felt great. Like I was telling Libre, it felt great for him, because me and my brother, we weren't the best students. Hell, I was a terrible student when I was in high school. So even if I wanted to play football, I couldn't, because my grades were dog water.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to play for long. So, and I want to say that maybe my brother was probably in that same boat. Maybe he didn't, or he had no interest. Either one, doesn't matter. But it felt great, as an uncle, to go out there and see him play. Unfortunately, his team didn't win. They lost because the quarterback was, I don't want to say he was inefficient, but there were a lot of questionable plays. And on one play, Libre, the opposing quarterback throws the ball in the air. His intended wide receiver doesn't catch it. The defender, instead of making a play for the ball, tries to bat it. Instead of batting it down, he bats it up. And another wide receiver catches it and runs straight.
That has to be hard. And that just reminds me of the time that even last year, the touchdown that we got in the end zone, and then another one, was it Wes Walker or something like that, when we played the Bengals several years ago in Cincinnati, when we won that game. That, just seeing that itself, instead of trying to actually get the ball, gets tipped up several different times, and the second receiver is the one that gets it for that touchdown. But yeah, it's football's a game of inches, and that's what happens.
Yeah, so that's why I've always preached to him, and I told him afterwards, like, bro, I'm pretty sure your coach is going to hammer it in your guys' head. Bat the ball down.
Yeah,
incomplete is better than watching the other team run the ball the other way.
So, like, at least you got to see your nephew play some football. That's one thing that I didn't see my two boys do, is play football. They just, at the time, like, they weren't into it. Like, my oldest son now, he was always a basketball guy. Like how you're saying, he was always a basketball player. He played basketball from middle school throughout high school and all that. but he never wanted to play football, nothing like that. So I missed out seeing him play football. But now he's like a hardcore, like he's in here with me at all the games. He's super invested now, which he wasn't before. So that excites me itself. My youngest son, he's just not a sports guy. He's a theater kid, and I love that. He's a senior year, but he does great up there on the stage and does wonderful things. And I'm excited for this last year that he's going to do theater for school, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our overtime segment of today's show. Libre and I, as we stated, thank you to everybody in the chat. We hit 52 viewers. So 52 is our record.
Appreciate
going
you
forward.
all.
And we love breaking the ceiling. Thank you guys for everybody that joined us in the TikTok chat, in mine anyway, if there's still anybody here. Shai Vargas, Juan Marquez, Dak. I know I saw Dak in the TikTok chat earlier. The boss, Baki, was here.
Baki, yep.
If he hasn't fired me yet. Michael Carmelini, D-Rock, of course. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Again, we're going to ask you guys to please show your support for us here on the Orange and Blue Network. Support Broncos Talk by subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking this video. If there's something that Libre and I did not get to answer for you guys in terms of questions before the Titans game, please feel free to leave a comment on the video, and we will answer that best to our ability. Also, if you would like a more direct approach, you can text. You can hit us up on our socials. Our Twitter handles are right there on the bottom. Mine is at a 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is at Bronco Libre 5280. Same for our audio listeners. If you like the 5-star reviews, are always well appreciated. You can always screenshot and send it to our socials there at the bottom. For any business inquiries, you can email at broncostalk2020@gmail.com. Just want to remind you guys, please, if you use W, use the code OBN10 to get 10% off your order at checkout. Again, W, use code OBN10 to get 10% off your order at checkout. Once again, we'd like to say thanks to W and the guys over at the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue for hooking you, me, and Libre up with that amazing offer. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to tune in this Sunday for the pre-game show. Unfortunately, Libre is not going to be there because he will be at the actual game. But Libre will be back next week to tell us everything that went down in the season opener against the Titans. I will definitely try to be there for the pregame and the postgame show this Sunday, as well as some of the other guys that are on the network as well. So please make sure you have that live notification button click on, so that way you get an alert as soon as the show goes on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, we just hit 53, Libre. That's a new record.
Hey, welcome to the live, guys. As we're signing off, come on. Hey, if I could go out there and if we can keep on going out there and continue to get these, hey, let's just wait a minute. Let's just not cut it off quite yet. Let's see what we can actually do. Let's give it maybe 5 minutes, if that. Or if you need to go, you can go. It's all good. But I appreciate every one of you guys, man. This means a lot to us. And to say that we are now 4 days away from the actual kickoff to the season, and you guys are in here in the live right now, and you're supporting us right now, that just means that we're doing something right, and that everyone is also excited in anticipation of this season being a great year for us in the Denver Broncos. Like, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm super excited for it. I'm so blessed to be here, part of the network. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for everyone else that's out there. Doc, everyone out there, Ty, Jay, all you guys, Broncos Bros, George and Dak. Like, thank you guys for being part of this community with me as well. This is truly like, we're a network, but we're truly like brothers. Like, and this is something that I love about this as well. We're family, and let's continue to roll this as well. And like, we're just days away from this being, and I'm calling you this right now, hot take right now, that this is going to be one of the greatest Broncos seasons of all time. And then we're talking about going back to the 2013 season that I have mentioned before. I feel that this team can be greater than that right now, and I'm super excited for it.
I definitely am too. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, He's Bronco Libre. I'm Adan Diaz, and this has been Broncos Talk on the Orange and Blue Network. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you join us this Sunday for the pregame and the postgame show. We will be back next Wednesday with our reactions to the results of said game, and we will look forward to week 2 against those pesky Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening, day, whatever it is you're listening to us. And as always, go Broncos!
Go Broncos! Let's go! Yeah, boy!